Joe, first of all, how are the emotions at the moment, 2 days before arguably the biggest game in Ipswich women's history?
Feeling really good. Someone just asked me down reception, funny enough, about how we're feeling, and as I said, and many of you will know, we played Man City a couple of years ago, and I think that was kind of the first taste of the experience. So this time it's a bit more normal for us. And yeah, it's been a normal week, and preparation has been as it always would be. So we're treating it like any other game really that we've had so far this season. So yeah, we're all feeling good, feeling really positive, looking forward to the game.
And Paige, it's an event which is going to be screened live on national television. You had the exposure 2 years ago, obviously playing against Manchester City in terms of getting national attention. But what about national exposure this time? What's that going to be like?
Yeah, it's really exciting, and it shows how far we've come as a club since then. Obviously we had another good cup run, and I think a lot of the girls are really excited to obviously be on TV for the first time and yeah, get that bit of extra exposure.
Vicky, BBC Sport.
Hello, yeah, we're really looking forward to covering it. Yeah, Joe, just for you, firstly, in terms of keeping the players focused, you say you're treating it like any other game. Practically, how do you do that? In training and in the build-up to the game, like what sort of processes are you going through with the players to try and do that mentally?
Well, I think first and foremost, we know how important our league campaign is for us, and we have 6 league games to go. And one thing we've been conscious of over the last couple of weeks is being aware of the game against West Ham coming up, the demand that's going to be on us that might be different from our league fixtures because of the level and the athleticism and the experience that comes with playing a team like West Ham. So all we've tried to do really is bear West Ham in mind and just try and raise our own levels. Can we go up another gear or two in training and games, and I guess can we be a little bit more critical at what we do in a bit more detail, just to ensure that we're going to try and put ourselves in the best position to try and compete and do as well as we can this Sunday. So yeah, our expectation for our league and what we're trying to achieve with that is our focus. And I think this has kind of been a bonus for us, the cup run, and because we've had a taste of it before. It's something that we enjoy being part of, and the exposure that comes with it, and the experience that the players and the staff all get to test ourselves against, obviously, a team in the WSL.
That's great. And Paige, it's obviously an incredibly young squad that you've got at Ipswich. Just talk to us about how that affects the camaraderie and the bond within the team.
I think we're a very close-knit team. Like you said, we're all young, but a lot of us have played together since we were I've played with 2 of the girls since I was 9 years old. So we've known each other for ages, we've grown up with each other. So I think all the kind of success we're having makes it a bit more special, because we've kind of seen most of, if not all of each other's journeys and what we've been through in the downs and the ups. So to be able to share exciting times like this together makes it more special.
That's brilliant. Thank you and best of luck.
Thank you.
Stu, do you want to go next? Yeah, DT.
Simple one, Joe. Can you win?
I hope so. I think, as we said the same a couple of years ago, that we're a team and we're a staff. I think even we're a football club naturally that is determined to win games of football. We know how difficult the challenge is based on, like we know, the level of our opponent, the experience that they have, the athleticism first and foremost at the top level now is of a really high standard. But we have to go into the game trying to win the game. Can we do it? I think what we have to be organised. We have to be very tactically aware of how complex West Ham can actually be, because under Ollie Harder they've developed a really good model of play, and it's really difficult for a lot of teams in the top division to try and manage, let alone us. So we're going to have to be on it from that perspective. We're going to have to meet the physical demand that's going to be placed on us. And we're going to have to have a little bit of luck. And I think if we can get all of those 3 things with a really supportive crowd behind us, then there'll be no reason why we couldn't cause an upset.
Paige, same to you really. Fearlessness of youth in this squad, does that come into...
Yeah, we're all quite fearless, and I think we're not in this competition to make up the numbers. We want to try and progress as far as we can. Obviously, we know the task ahead is not going to be an easy one. But yeah, like Joe said, if all things kind of work in our favour, you see it a lot of the time in the men's cup. you know, there's upsets all the time. You don't see it so much in the Women's FA Cup. So hopefully we can kickstart that and make it the first.
Great, thank you.
Sonny, then PA.
Hi guys. First thing I want to say is that you've come so far and you're doing well in the league as well. Sometimes you see league form affecting the cup form in a negative way, but that hasn't happened with you. What do you put that down to?
Yeah, I think kind of what I said before really is that the league is so important to us. We are really trying to get out of this division to go into the Championship. So I think what we've always been conscious of as staff and players is what promotion could do for our careers. And we are aware of it. It could be huge for all of us. It's life changing actually. But I think for particularly the players, the ones that are only some now and only a year ago, don't get paid. They're in education or they're in employment, and they commit so much to come and train and compete and travel all over the south of England with us. So we know what it can be in terms of being life changing for us if we win promotion. So yeah, that's always been our focus. And actually, if anything, as anyone's been probably more distracted by the competition, it's probably been me, which is a testament to the players really, that they are so committed to the league campaign, and it's no surprise to me actually that our league results have been really good, and the performances have been of a high standard since the West Ham draw came out, because as I say, they know how important it is.
Paige, just a couple of games off Wembley, if you want to look that far. Have you started dreaming about an appearance there yet?
I think so, a little bit, but obviously you can't get too ahead of yourself. We've got a big quarter final, and it's not going to be an easy task, so it's not like it's an easy road and we can start planning for Wembley. But yeah, it's a dream that I'd like to accomplish.
Cheers, guys. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Asif.
Paige, first of all, 2 years ago when you played Manchester City, I think you were still studying at St Joseph's. Now you're full time. In terms of how much you train, what difference has it made becoming a professional in terms of your day to day?
Just almost less distractions. Like, I've always been a person who's very committed to playing, and I've always, even through school, kind of trained as if I'm full time, but I've just now got less things to worry about, and less things to get distracted on. So now I've been able to commit kind of wholeheartedly to it without having those extra stresses and stuff, which has only benefited me, but also obviously the rest of my teammates who are also in the same position as me.
Joe, did you ever consider switching this time to play here at Portman Road, or do you think playing at Felixstowe gives you more of a home advantage against a team like West Ham? Yeah,
absolutely. I think first and foremost, Felixstowe is our home ground. We enjoy playing there. I think I speak on behalf of the players and the staff and the supporters to say that we all enjoy being there. Obviously, the opportunity to play at Portman Road is something I'm sure we'd all relish at some stage, but I think for the moment, we're definitely keen to play at Felixstowe because we know it. I think Felixstowe have been great for us, great hosts over many years now. I think they deserve to be part of this tie as well in particular. We're really keen to play at Felixstowe. So it's something we're really used to, and I think because of the magnitude of the game, I think it's really important to have familiar surroundings for us. Like you say, to try and have that home advantage.
Tom from Telegraph.
Oh, thanks very much. Good morning, everyone. Paige, I just wanted to ask a bit, follow up to one of the answers you gave, where you were sort of saying, quite rightly pointing out, that upsets are a bit rarer in the women's game than they are in the men's. Just wondered what you think that's been down to over the years, and what would help change that, for the future.
I think it's probably down to the disparity in the leagues. For example, like in the women's division, you've obviously got the WSL that's fully full time. You've only got a few clubs in the Championship at full time, whereas throughout the men's pyramid, Premier League to League Two, they're full time, and the majority of National League teams are full time now as well. So it probably is just down to that. Like, we train 3 times a week when we're 2 divisions below West Ham, but obviously in the men's game, 2 divisions below, you're training similar models. So that probably has the most to do with it. As long as there's continued investment and growth in the women's game, then hopefully there'll be more upsets in the future.
Yeah, and for Sunday, Paige, I mean, I know it's not the first time it's happened, but how, as a player, what does it mean to have it sold out? You know, that must be quite special to have the place packed again.
Yeah, it'll be great. The atmosphere will be very good. I mean, we consistently get crowds of kind of 400 at Felixstowe each week for our league games. So to get those extra fans there as well to show up their support. I mean, they follow us all around the country. We had some at Cardiff on the weekend supporting us. But to get 2,000 to sell it out, hopefully it'll be a great atmosphere. And definitely in the last round, I mean, especially for the penalties, the crowd definitely helped us in that. So hopefully they can get behind us again.
And did you watch West Ham on Wednesday night in their game against Manchester United? And if so, what did you make of the game?
I didn't watch the Man United game, but I watched them against Chelsea last week. But obviously they scored late on against United. So, you know, they're capable of, you know, they compete against the big teams of the WSL. They're not a small team. So, yeah, it will definitely be a hard task.
Thank you so much. Good luck, Joe. Can I just ask you a couple of questions as well? I don't know if a slightly different topic, I suppose, but early this week we had the news of the Women's FA Cup prize money going up tenfold from next year, whereas I think if you can win this game, you'll get £4,000 in prize money. I just wonder if you can give us a sense of kind of how what the increase next season means for teams such as yourselves in division in the third tier, and also kind of just can you give us a sense of how far or not far 4,000 would go for the club at the moment?
Yeah, we've peaked a year too early, haven't we? Yeah, I think, you know, it was a similar topic a couple of years ago when we played Man City. So I think it's not. I'll be honest, it's not something I really thought too much about. You know, we're trying to prepare the team to win, to try and progress in the competitions. I think we're very aware of the prize money involved in a women's game, but like I said, I knew that 2 years ago. So, you know, it's something I've not really thought about, but obviously with the news of it increasing will only be great for the women's game, and certainly for us to be able to hopefully have a similar run next year where we can benefit from receiving the increase would be huge for us as we continue to try and progress our way up the pyramid.
And could you give us a sense, Joe, behind the scenes of the kind of work that it's taking to get the game on, particularly thinking of having the TV cameras there and obviously selling out and presumably extra facilities of some kind? What kind of efforts are going on behind the scenes to get the place packed out?
Yeah, there's been a lot actually, and you know, I think, you know, I think the staff have been really excited to have to, you know, take on these additional tasks because, you know, we know how important it is and how good it is to have it on TV. And I must add the support from the club, from the guys that work at Portman Road. You know, Stuart Hayton, the club secretary. You know, a lot of the staff here have been very supportive in ensuring that we can meet what's needed in terms of protocols from response team, from paramedics on site, from sorting out gantries, and the club have provided stewards. So I think that the club's support for us to get the game on at Felixstowe and support Felixstowe has been brilliant. So yeah, you know, it's been a new experience for us, but one that we've really enjoyed taking part in.
Just one extra one, if you don't mind me asking one more question.
Tom, is it okay if we just come back to you a bit later? Is that okay? Yeah. There'll be a chance for further questions. It's just want to try and cycle it along if we can. Derek, we're going to come to you now.
Yeah, thank you. Joe, you talked about the needing to step up physically and need a little bit of luck against West Ham. But also you showed how well prepared you were against Southampton, especially with the substitutions at the penalty shootout. So have you prepared equally as diligently this time? And have you seen something against from West Ham that you think tactically you can take advantage of?
Yes, yeah, I think we always prepare diligently. I think, you know, we'd played Southampton a few times, and you know, we knew that chances are few and far between, and you know, we always look at where we think the game might go, and we will do the same this time. And like I said, having watched West Ham a couple of times, you know, a very complex team actually, and yeah, I think what we've tried to do on this occasion is not overcomplicate. I think that's important. I think playing against a really complex team, I think because of the occasion, I think simplicity is really important and players having clarity. So I think that there'll be certain parts of our game that we will have to be very organised with to ensure that, you know, we can be difficult to beat. And yeah, you know, we'll identify areas that we think we can exploit based on the players we've got in our positions, and where we think that they might be vulnerable based on what they try and do really well. So yeah, it'll be no different to any normal week when we do that. Obviously, I think this occasion, you know, the information that we have to gather and we have to deliver to players is a little bit more, just because of, again, how complex they can be and what they do very, very well.
And following on from that, Eddie Jones calls his substitutes finishers. You use your squad equally as well. So have you got a couple of finishers on the bench that you feel can come on and make that final difference in the last few minutes?
We've got plenty, yeah. I mean, we can have 9 subs for the game. You know, we'll have players that we could bring on if we feel like we need to see the game out. We'll have players that we can bring on if we need a bit more legs. We have players we can bring on if we need a bit of a spark. And equally have players we can bring on if we need to score some penalties. So, yeah, we've got a bench full of flexibility, and we'll ensure, depending on how the game goes, that we'll bring on players that will be needed at that time to try and do what's necessary.
Yeah. And Paige, very quickly, you talked about how close you all are as a squad. How important do you think that has been actually in tangible terms in far as getting top of the table and this far in the FA Cup?
Massive. Like, we obviously know only 11 of us can start games, but across the whole season, you know, we've had big injuries at the start. You know, girls have stepped in, different players have come in and out in the 11. So it's massive to keep that kind of good spirit in and around the place. You don't want kind of negative people that are maybe taking their personal goals or whatever ahead of the teams, but that's not the case in our team at all. We're all got the same collective ambition. We're all pulling together as one, and you know, we're always there for each other. And yeah, we all know that at some point each of us are going to make a difference in what happens across the whole season.
Thank you.
Charlotte Harper, The Athletic.
Hi Joe, hi Paige. Paige, I remember we spoke 2 years ago just in the lead up to that Manchester City game. What did you learn from that experience? Because it was probably the biggest of the whole team, and how are you going to use that taking it forward on Sunday?
I think the main thing we all learnt from that game is the kind of physicality and pace at that level of the game, which then probably caught us by surprise a bit, because like I said, it was our first experience of that, whereas this time it's not going to be a shock. Like in that case, we know what we're coming in for, and we know they're going to be a tough side. So I think that's just the main thing really, that shouldn't be a shock, so now we can better prepare to deal with that, know what we're coming in for, and then yeah, try and play our best to obviously outwork them, outrun them, maintain to their pace and hopefully beat them.
And tactically, Paige, how are you going to hurt West Ham? Where do your strengths lie?
I think we've got pace. I mean, especially our wing backs and forwards are quick. You know, penetration's important, whatever game you're playing in. So hopefully we can get behind their back line and put them under some pressure. And yeah, try and nick a goal that way.
And I know Joe has kind of been with you since the start, and at times, you know, in the past he's been a one-man band. Can you just kind of speak a bit about his influence on the club as well, without making him blush too much?
Yeah, he's been massive. He's been kind of the main driving force behind it. When he first came in, he had a vision as to where he wanted this club to go and where it could get to, and you know, he's made massive strides to, you know, build that. Like where we started to where we are now is huge. It's a big difference, and a lot of that is down to him, and full credit to him for, you know, making his vision a reality.
Thanks very much, Paige.
Liam, are you wanting to ask anything? No. Okay, we'll go to Phil now.
Hello Joe, how are you?
Hi Phil, you okay?
I'm not so bad. I was just wondering, how far has the team come on since the Manchester City tie a couple of years ago, and kind of, you know, talk a bit about the kind of process of development since then?
Yeah, like Paige just alluded to, you know, a real lesson for us, you know, facing world-class players that only played in a World Cup 10 months previous. And I think what we do know is we've got players that are so determined to get to as high as they can possibly get to. So that was a really important game for us, because we come away from that and we realise what world-class looks like. And and what we've tried to do is try and strive towards that over time, and it takes time. And like Paige said, you know, the athleticism now and the pace that the players are able to play at is really hard, really high. So all we've managed to do really is just continue to grow naturally. You know, try and stick to developing the players from all aspects, and the physical aspect has been an important part of that. But I think, you know, with physicality and developing athleticism, it does take time. You know, and our 17-year-olds 2 years ago are now only 19. So we've made 2 years of progress. And you know, a lot of our 18, 19-year-olds, you know, won't really develop to the level that's probably required from a physical perspective, probably until they're sort of 23, 24, 25, which is why the average age of a Super League player is 25 and a half, and West Ham's is now 28 and a half and has gone up since last year, which is probably showed why they're a little bit better than they were last year. So yeah, it's a process. It will take time. And all we can do is continue to try and work with the players every day, from all aspects, as I say. But we know to compete and win a game like this, you know, that the physical demand placed on us will be really difficult, which is why we'll need a little bit of luck along the way.
Do you feel that the sort of structure behind you has improved over the period? Obviously, you've had the takeover a year ago. Has that kind of assisted you?
Absolutely, yeah, because you know, we now have more staff in place, we train more, we help support our players financially. So yeah, there's been significant investment that's really helped us really do more, have more staff, like I say, and just try and as time goes on, give the players and the staff a little bit more opportunity to keep trying to develop and grow as best as we can.
Thanks. Paige, I think you're involved in the analysis side, aren't you, as well?
Yeah.
Have you been involved in the analysis side for this game?
No, I haven't. I just stick to the men's first team in my analysis role. I try not to cross over between staff and player on the women's side as well.
It's quite. I mean, you get a lot of support from the men's side, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. They're all so supportive. They're always asking me about how we're getting on. I think a few of them are coming to watch us this Sunday. Yeah, they're always right behind us.
And you mentioned the various strengths of the team, but one thing you didn't mention was set pieces. You must be very much hoping for 1 or 2 free kicks sort of around the penalty area.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a few. Yeah, I mean, in the game that might be our best opportunity to score. You know, we're quite aware that probably clear-cut chances are going to be few and far between against a team like West Ham. So if we can win any fouls in and around the box, or equally Laf takes our, you know, more delivering set pieces now, that hopefully we can capitalise on those chances.
Excellent. Thank you very much and good luck on Sunday.
Thank you.
Thanks, Phil.
Tom, we'll come back to you for the question you wanted to ask now, and then if anyone else wants to follow that, they can with any further questions.
Thank you. Sorry, I didn't appreciate how many people there are in the room. That's fantastic. There was only one more, Joe. Just, I guess, with being on the BBC, is it a chance to kind of fly the flag for the Women's National League, like to a bigger audience? Because I don't think the Man City tie was on. It was on FA Player, I think. But anyway, I just wondered if it was a chance to, fly the flag for the league.
Absolutely, and you know, we know that there's the likes of us, Southampton, Oxford, even Wolves in the Northern Division are clubs that are really making an effort to try and make an impact for our areas in the women's game over many years to come. So, you know, I really appreciate and respect the job that Marion and Lauren are doing at Southampton, that Dan's doing at Wolves, and that Liam's doing at Oxford, because we're all trying to do the same thing, and we know the opportunity to try and reach the level is going to be really difficult. So yeah, you know, we're trying to fly the flag for the National League, because there's a lot of work going on at that level that's really good, and we're all striving for the same thing. And as we know, there's some talent, there's some clubs that are doing really good things in this part of the pyramid. And yeah, we'll be representing the National League as best as we can to try and win the game. Yeah.
Thank you both. Good luck. See you Sunday.
Thank you.
Just one more, from the reverse of that actually, Paige, I'll ask you this question. Do you think the added exposure of the Women's Super League the last couple of years, and particularly this season as well, because it's been on Sky as well, has that helped you in terms of filtering down the interest into the National League?
I think so. I think just the, you know, interest in women's football in general, you know, any exposure can only be good and benefit the whole pyramid, not just obviously the TV deal in the WSL and Championship. But it gives the clubs lower down more ambition and something to strive for, because they know now the big rewards and what comes with getting promoted into those leagues and what it can do. Like Joe said, if we get promoted in the Championship, it really could change all of our lives at the club. So in that sense, it just kind of makes you, want those dreams a little bit more.
And are you finding that youngsters who break into the squad have got different role models instead of the traditional male role models? Are you finding they've got female role models?
Yeah, definitely. When I was a bit younger, there wasn't much exposure in the women's game, so I wasn't aware of, I didn't have the kind of role models that girls coming through nowadays would have. Mine were all males. But nowadays, obviously, women are on Sky all the time, BBC, so there's lots of different, you're seeing these people do what you want to do, so that can only be a good thing.
Super. Thanks, Matt. Thank you.
Anything from anyone else at all?
Yeah, I've just got one more, sorry. Joe, I know you said how promotion would be life-changing for you and the players, but what would advancing in the FA Cup mean to you?
Wow, it'd be huge. It'd be huge for us to get to a semi-final of the FA Cup for a team at our level. Would be incredible, but I think it's huge for more reasons than just experience and opportunity. And I've said for a long time now that my vision and what I've been hoping for over many years is not to just grow what we've got now, it's to engage and excite a community in a region and give opportunity to more homegrown players in our region that can continue to filter through our pathway, because that's what we were set up to do. We were set up to provide opportunity for homegrown players in this region and commit to them, and that's what we've always done, which is why our squad of 20 on Sunday will feature 17 players that have come through our academy system. And there's no numbers like that across this country in women's football. So, yeah, to get to a semi-final is more for what it does for the town and the community in the region, because I'm so keen to try and ensure that, if you're a 9 or a 10-year-old girl now and you're excited by what we're doing at the moment, then I want you to try and have an opportunity to do what Paige is doing in 9 years' time. So, yeah, that's what's a really important part of as well for me.
Thanks very much, Joe. Thanks, Paige. All the best for Sunday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was just going to ask Joe, the vision is for you to become a Super League club in time. I don't know if you've got timescales in your mind, but...
Obviously, it's the golden egg. It's the star that I think staff and players would all like to work at. I think what I've been conscious of over many years of seeing the game grow is the significant investment required that the likes of Chelsea, Man City providing now is so high. And I think what's really important is the stability of it and being able to sustain it. And one thing I've always tried to do since I started is be as self-sustainable as possible, which is why I think our supporters, what we do commercially is really, really important, because I want to make sure that we're able to compete at each level. So we're now competing in the division we're in, and if we were getting to the Championship, I think it'll be cementing that place, and developing the infrastructure again and ensuring that we're a team that can compete and do well in the Championship. So I think if you try and jump too high too soon, because of the money that's being spent and the quality at the top division, it can really catch you up. So there's no real timescale on it. I think first and foremost, if we can get into the Championship, that'd be a huge achievement for us. If we can become established at that level over 2 or 3 years, and we'll see where we are and what we can achieve next.